Road. All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our first ever video game Spoilercast here on the Film Optix podcast, brought to you by the Drive-In Podcast Network. And today we are going to be taking a deep dive into Naughty Dog's latest crown jewel, The Last of Us Part 2. And joined with me today are some phenomenal guests. We have Ren Geekness from the Ren Geekness YouTube channel. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good, man. Looking forward to talk all good things Last of Us.
Hell yeah. And we have Zach Pope as well from his YouTube channel. How are you doing today, man?
Good, man. I'm obsessed with this game, so I'll keep talking about it as long as other people want to keep talking about it. I already know, like, when it gets to my top 10 films of the year list, this is going to be my number one.
Ooh, there we go. And last but not least, we have Austin Putnam from his channel as well. How are you doing today, man? Happy 4th, everyone.
Oh, hell yes. America.
You guys.
Yeah. Nothing more American than talking about The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, God, right?
Ren, do you feel more American now?
A little bit. I feel included.
It is not for the joy unless if I watch Team America World Police. Enough said. But doing well. Excited about talking about Last of Us Part 2 and all of the goodness and the bleakness of this game, to say the least.
It's an amazing game.
Oh,
and if you didn't like it, you're not allowed to.
You can go.
Get out.
Get the fuck out, please.
Do not purchase Last of Us Part 3 because it might come. Hopefully. I'm hoping it does.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah. But before we begin today's review, you can listen to this podcast, of course, here live on YouTube if you're joining us today, or on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, TuneIn, Pandora, and iHeartRadio. They will be uploaded later on because I have festivities to get to. A very small group of people practicing social distancing, of course. You know, I'm not going to go a night on the town or anything like that.
I think you should, though. Everyone else is doing it.
I know, right? I'll just go out without a mask.
Totally.
Darwinism, do your thing.
So, man. I was in Target today, and there was this family of 4, and the adults had masks on, but the kids didn't. And I was like, don't they have the weaker immune systems?
Yeah,
I was about to say.
Dude, I work in retail, and the amount of newborn babies I've seen come to the store, I just want to grab the kid and go put it in a safe location, and then come back to the parents and say, "Are you stupid?"
That's how I feel.
There's nothing essential here. Zach. You are just stupid,
dude. As a person that works at a restaurant, I know how you feel.
Yeah,
completely.
I can't even believe that.
Yeah. I used to work retail a lot, and wow.
Yeah, the amount of dumb people I've seen lately are pretty stupid. But nothing dumb about The Last of Us.
There's nothing dumb about The Last of Us. Nothing at all, no matter what anybody says. But we have some talking points here. We're going to kind of split it up. We'll talk about the gameplay and the presentation first off, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the story aspect, because I feel like we're going to be talking about that forever. So,
yeah. Oh, probably.
Probably. But I wanted to ask you guys, we'll go around the podcast here. How long did it take you guys to beat The Last of Us on the first playthrough? I'll start with Zach.
So for my first playthrough, I think I saw a lot of people going I beat it in 21 hours. I beat it in 27 hours. Dude, I beat it at 17 hours.
Did you really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm just a professional when it comes to Last of Us. Dude, I don't die in that fucking game. I refuse to die in that game.
Better than I am. That's
but yeah, I was at 17. I will say definitely I stopped really looking for scavenging stuff, and even towards the back half of the game, because I knew I was getting to that point. I just wanted to beat it. And I knew I was already going to go back through the second I beat it, which I am right now. So I beat it at 17, 18, 19, somewhere around there hours. And then right now I'm on my second playthrough, and I'm actually already at 19 hours. And I'm not even close to where I was at. But again, that's with a harder difficulty, collectibles, taking my time, taking everything in, And, I hate The Last of Us for the same thing, because, I always like to look at everything. And I'm, walking, and I'm like, okay, there's this way or this way. Which way is going to start the cutscene? Which way is not going to start the cutscene?
Yeah.
Seriously.
Okay, I think it's going to be that way. Go that way, it starts the cutscene. I'm like,
yeah.
there was a safe back there. There was an artifact I forgot. Fuck,
And I would,
man.
I would actually like to talk about that at some point because I'm on my second playthrough as well, and I go to pushsquare.com and I'm like, okay,
Same.
where's
That's
all
what
the
I use.
collectibles? And like
Some of them
those
are
things-
hard.
They
Some of them
are
really hidden.
I already missed the artifact, so I got to go play through it again.
I missed the ring the first time I played. My buddy Gary is like,
Dude,
okay,
same. How did you? I was in the bank vault. I'm like, how did I miss the ring?
I didn't even go to the bank the first time I played.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
See, the first time I played, the only place I didn't go in Seattle was the music store. I didn't know about that at all.
Music store.
Yeah, so the
Really?
second time going through, I got the take on me.
Oh, that was my
Okay.
favorite parts of the entire game right there.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think that was the first place
Top
I went to
4
my
for
first.
me.
Yeah, but Austin, what about you? How long did it take you to play first time through?
It was just over 20 hours, actually, just over that. And because I remember I got to a certain point. I think it was when Abby was at the village and the village of the island. I was like, I must be getting to the third act, and I was actually texting Zach, going like, "Dude, am I almost there?" He's like, "Dude, it is ramping up," and I just thought, "Holy shit!" And but now I'm on my I'm technically have 2 and 3 playthroughs. My second playthrough is for because I'm reviewing the game on my own channel. My other playthrough is for my new game plus for the platinum trophy. But I would say just over 20 hours is how long I spent my first playthrough.
Okay, not bad. Ren, last but not least, what about you, man?
Yeah, I'm definitely the one who took the longest because I don't know exactly hours per se that I took to beat the game, but I know I started on Friday, the Friday that the game came out. I started around 4 or 5 p.m. My time. Even that doesn't make a difference, but 4 or 5 p.m. in the afternoon. And then I stop for a meal here and there, and then I go
You
to bed.
stop to eat? How dare you? How dare you?
I need hands. These things need to grow, Zach.
Zach's like, I had a pee bag ready to go. Like,
Exactly.
Oh, see, I did pee my pants.
But I sleep my 8 hours, and then I play mostly all day through Saturday, and then I know, because I was texting Zach at the time, I know I finished the game around, like, it wasn't exactly midnight, but it was midnight 02, midnight 01 on Sunday, like Sunday through to Monday. I beat it midnight, and then I talked a little bit with Zach after finishing the game. But yeah,
After you cried.
nice.
yes, after I bought my
Right. Yeah. It took me about 24 hours. It felt more like 30, but I wasn't really, trying to see how far I was. Well,
Yeah.
I kept track for a little bit, then I just stopped because I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
And then
See, I
I'm
always
on my-
like looking at how far I am into a game. Like, no matter what game I am, I always want to see how long it's taking me or how many hours I've put into it.
Same.
Which, I'm more of a PlayStation person, but I will give Xbox credit. It's really cool. They actually in-track it no matter what. Like,
yeah,
any
I was
game.
gonna say.
Yeah, so I really like that they do that. I wish Sony did that, maybe for the PS5, because I don't know. I always like seeing like how many hours I've put in. Like, I know Overwatch, shit, I probably have like 700 hours in that game.
Oh my god.
I don't play it anymore, but that you can tell
Say,
why.
damn.
I've logged all my hours.
I mean, if you want long hours Bloodborne, I put over 200 hours into it at least.
I just started playing that game because I want to get back into Demon Souls.
You
I want you to
are
know
into
this.
shit.
Bloodborne, I will never play again just because I love it so much, but I almost broke like 2 controllers over that game.
Are you serious?
Yes, dude, I'm the type that I'll throw the fucking controller. Like, I don't give a shit, man.
Same.
I'm like, if I get that frustrated, I will throw a controller.
I love
You guys want to hear a funny
Bloodborne.
story time when I was
Oh,
younger?
of course.
So, you remember Mafia 2?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So my parents bought me that game when I was younger, which will show my age because I was not allowed to play this game yet. And I put it on the hardest difficulty because I wanted every single achievement. So I'm playing this game, and in the hardest difficulty, you die in 1 hit, and your person dies in 1 hit. So it's very fair. Okay, I'm literally on the last 10 minutes of this level, like the last 10 minutes of the game, and I keep dying. The spawn location is literally where you die. Like I spawn, I die, I spawn, I die. So it's either restart the whole game or figure out a way around it. So it got to the point where I was like screaming. Like this is again, I should not have a video game. I should not be at this age playing a game. I'm getting so pissed. I threw my fucking controller and it like dented the wall. and then I just kept hitting. I was so pissed, screaming. So, and we have this like alarm thing in our house where like if someone leaves, you can hear the door open. Like the door will open up and it'll make a noise. Like Paranormal Activity 4, which makes for some scary stuff when I hear it go off, and I'm like, who the fuck's home? So I didn't hear that. I was that pissed. They walked up and they were laughing their ass off in the hallway, and I just turned around, like little old me, like. And my dad said, usually I would ground your fucking ass and take the game away, but that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. So sometimes I don't scream anymore, but I definitely will like throw the controller and be like, fuck this, man.
Yeah.
I've broken headsets by stepping on them on accident because I threw it and I forgot. So that stuff happens, man.
I've actually never broken a controller.
Really?
I broke an Xbox 360 accessory, a wireless antenna, because it wasn't working correctly when I was being a dumbass with it the entire time. But otherwise, no, never broken a controller in my life. Never have.
That's good. I'm glad.
I feel like Ren hasn't either. I don't know if Ren has or not.
Ren, have you?
I plead the fifth.
I can neither confirm nor deny it.
No, you're not American. You can't plead the fifth. You don't live here.
I don't know the laws in Portugal, Zach.
No.
Maybe we also have the fifth over here.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my god.
So did everyone play The Last of Us Part 2 like on normal the first time around?
Yes.
Yes, I was non-normal.
I'm always the normal guy.
Okay. Oh, you're on Survivor.
Yeah, now I am. Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
I love the harder difficulties. I was the one that the second they put grounded on the last one, I said, "Fuck it, I'm going through it."
I hear that's the best way to play the game.
So ground it is because it gets rid of the listening mode. It makes it feel real. It really So like you can't see through the walls and stuff, which definitely makes it for more of a fun time. And I'm that person who beat it on grounded and went through again on grounded on New Game Plus. And I think I still barely got all the collectibles and like barely any of the upgrades. Like it's that hard. But I will give this game. I don't know if I love this choice that like New Game Plus you can choose any mode and any difficulty to go back through.
I'll say that, yeah.
And I hope when they do add grounded, because I'm assuming they will. Survivor's not grounded still. I hope they don't do that, if that makes sense. Like I at the same time, I guess I wouldn't complain because I'll have literally everything, but I think there's a sense of a nuance to having that New Game Plus that like it's only supposed to be through the modes that you've played on, because then or like the modes underneath you. So it's just a little bit weird that they chose that. Maybe it's more of a reason to get people to go back through the game again. Maybe that's something that's an issue. I like that you get all your guns though. I think that's cool. Like you even get the assault rifle to go through that you get at the end of the game. So yeah, it's an interesting choice. Honestly, I just want more Last of Us already. I'm being like a spoiled brat about it.
Neil Druckmann, get on it like right now.
Yeah, please.
Just like a standalone game. Well, I'm sorry, Austin. I didn't mean to cut you off earlier. Go ahead.
No, you're all good. In fact, I actually forgot. I blanked out for what I was gonna say. I blanked out.
I was gonna. Because back to Zach's point, I noticed, through when I'm going through like the trophies, trying to see what I got to do, it just says complete. It just says beat the game. That's just it's not like beat the game on easy, hard.
Yeah.
And because in the remastered version, they had like, if you beat it on hard, you would unlock it for easy, normal.
Which is why I just did grounded and
just for the hell of it,
yeah, beat it all in one go.
By the way, speaking of which difficulties, there are only a select few games I've been on the hardest difficulty: Gears 1 through 3 and Uncharted 1 through 4. Never again. I
give you credit for Gears. I couldn't even do those on Insane.
Gears 3,
I said fuck that for those games.
Dude,
it's not
Gears 3
worth
on
it.
the final boss on Insane mode took me 2.5 hours.
I'm not even shook. See, like for me, I think when it comes to hard games, Last of Us, every Halo except 5, because 5 was fucking garbage.
That's right.
I legit hate 5. I think 5 is like one of the worst games I've ever, or at
Even
least
the
one of the
multiplayer.
I didn't like the multiplayer either. I thought it was fun, but I'm really preaching Bungie. If you're listening to this, I don't care if you got to revamp the whole fucking game. If Doom Eternal can take original Doom and make it work in real world, original Halo can still work today. You just have to make it work.
Oh, sure.
I love Doom Eternal so much. Oh my god.
I'm trying to think. Some of the Metal Gear Solids I've done on the hardest difficulty, like Phantom Pain 4.
Never be in a Metal Gear Solid game. Oh god.
Can you kick him out? And
Sure,
there's a
buddy.
couple others, but those are the ones that keep come to my mind. Oh, most of the Call of Duties I've done veteran. I always do veteran. 'Cause I want the achievement.
All right, Ren, what about you? Have you?
No, I'm just a normal guy, and in most games I play once, and I don't usually repeat. Like the God of War franchise is an exception. I was talking with Austin and you right before we began that it's my favorite franchise. I've played the first Darksiders like 3 times.
So good.
Those games are underrated. Not enough people talk about Darksiders.
I know. I've never been Darksiders the first game. I never have.
That one's great. That's still my favorite one.
Yes,
it's a good game from what I played. I think I got like a quarter of the way through, and I was like, I'll play something else now.
And I think that's it. There's not many games that I went back to play, and again, usually I'm just a normal guy, so most of them I play on normal difficulty, and that's it really.
But you know what? That's funny because for me, usually when I beat a game, I don't touch it right afterwards. Like I really don't. I wait. Like God of War, I've only played that game through once, but I'm really excited to go back through that 4th one again and all of them again. Whenever they announce, hey, 5's coming out, because I'm going to want to experience it again. And same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn. Love that game to death. I think it's such an underrated game. Again, it's one of those games that I'm eventually going to go back through because of the next one. Ratchet & Clank's another one I want to go through. Jak and Daxter. But honestly, the one I actually really want to go through is Days Gone. I think that one's really underrated. I actually had a blast. I had a blast with it. Hey, it's on sale right now, guys. It's on sale right now. And it is really... So if you can get through the first... I would say 5 hours of the game. Then the first 5 are really fun. The first 5 are fun. The first 5 is fun. But that's when the story starts opening up. That's when you have a majority of the upgrades all unlocked. And it makes the game a lot more fun. And that's when the game grew.
Days Gone does have a terrible first impression as it starts off.
Yeah.
But the more you play it, I feel like the better it gets, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's actually one of the more underrated ones. Death Stranding, though, probably never going to beat that. I told myself I need to beat it before the PS5 comes out, but that's not.
I didn't even bother to buy it.
I have the baby edition. I have the baby edition.
Oh, you actually got the baby edition. Oh, my God.
I literally saw it, and I said, I'm buying that.
I just saw I just don't care for the mechanics, but
it's a polarizing game for gameplay, but the story is amazing.
It's just a fucking walking simulator with a great story.
It is, and with amazing graphics as well, I should add.
Yeah, that is true. But speaking of gameplay, we all know from the first Last of Us, it's very simple. You crouch, you choke, you shoot, punch. You're playing as Joel majority of the time. He's the muscle. How did you guys like the new mechanics? Because I personally felt like it was a huge game changer. Even just adding, like the dodge mechanic and going prone, things of that nature. But I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that. We'll start with Ren this time.
I like those a lot as well. I'll say this: I like the mechanic itself of prone, but I gotta say I didn't use it much because I felt myself very limited in terms of I need to move fast like out of this place, so I still prefer crouching. But the mechanic itself is awesome. The dodging, however, is fan-fucking-tastic. I couldn't love a mechanic more if they introduced, I don't know, invincibility. I still would prefer just dodging. Dodging is so great in this game. I love it. And it's actually more realistic. Like you not being able to dodge something when you actually are seeing it coming, it felt very limited. But it's one of those things that I didn't miss it when it wasn't there. But once they introduced it, I'm like, oh, thank heavens, this is so cool. Couldn't be more happy with dodging specifically. But the gameplay itself it's really, really good.
Can I share my screen? I want to show you guys this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this exact thing right here, was the thing that made me on my second playthrough go, holy crap, you can do a lot in this game.
Sweet Legend is amazing.
Oh yeah, I saw those too.
Like this, watch this. I didn't know you could the verticality.
Neither did I. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the stuff that I started doing my second playthrough. But it's funny of course, this is spoilers. With Ellie, it's with Ellie's character. When you play as Abby, it's completely different. And then look at this backwards slide.
I saw that. I was like, how the fuck did you do that?
It's like amazing, dude. I love it.
Right?
I love it.
Because I didn't know you could do that, but once you see it happening, you're like, okay, it's just jumping from point A to point B. But the sliding backwards, I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah, once you play it enough, it's kind of like playing Smash Brothers. Like you start learning, how to wiggle away or wiggle around certain things. But
well, and I'll even throw out the thing that the first game is very simple. It's a very simple game, especially even going back through and playing it right before this one. I'm like, this is a very simple, basic stealth game, but it's elevated because of the story.
Yeah.
And
100%.
for me, the second game, I still think it's a pretty simple go through game, but it's still really good, and it's way more opened up to the world.
Yeah, it has a lot more depth to it, especially because it's just two of my friends are actually playing through the first game. One of them, he thinks he's like a hard ass and he thinks he can beat it on grounded, but I don't think he's going to. My other friend,
faith in your friend, Christian.
I have no faith for now. He's still stuck at the same part. Like it's been like 2 weeks. My other buddy, they live together. He actually just bought a PS4 Pro. He finally got a stimulus check, so he's kind of going a little crazy. But I mean, he hasn't had it. Yeah, he's going pretty. He's enjoying it. He's bought like a crap ton of games. He's like, I don't even care. The PlayStation 5's coming out like in November. He's like, I probably won't even buy it when it first comes out. He's like, I'm just gonna enjoy these games, and maybe like a year or two later, I'll buy a PS5. I'm like, honestly, dude, that's fine because Sony is really great with supporting their previous consoles when a new one comes out. But I was watching my buddy Dylan, the one who's playing it on normal. He kept dying on this one part over some clickers. I'm like, dude, just dodge. I'm like, wait, he's playing the first game. It's like, it's so natural to me now. And I'm like, crap, like there's no way that I don't even know if I can go back and play the first game again without these mechanics.
Without dodge,
I mean, you can run away, but that's about it.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'll like revert back to that.
Yeah,
but
probably.
Was there any other favorite new mechanic you guys liked besides dodging or crouching?
I mean,
I don't know if
the
it's too
jump button
much.
wasn't a bad idea. I mean, I never really used it.
I never even used it.
However, I will say one of the new aspects I loved was the whole aspect involving how they would call each other's team members' names when someone would die.
Yeah.
And also, I will say, I thought the dodge mechanic as well, just like Ren, I fucking love the dodge mechanic so much. And it's, in terms of the gameplay, the one thing I wanted, I just want everything to be doubled and tripled down, and that's what they did, I thought. With the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's not about Doom Eternal. I just want to double down on everything I loved about that original game, and they absolutely did, and I loved what they did. But I actually went prone so much to that tall grass that saved my
I
ass
did,
multiple
especially when you're
times.
facing up these Seraphites when you're playing as Ellie. Like, came out of freaking nowhere. I was like, holy crap, where did that arrow come from?
Yeah, there's a lot of good jump scares.
It really is. It's
that
fantastic.
make you jump, scream, yell.
So, how many dogs did you guys kill? Because everyone. Same.
As much as I
felt
could,
terrible.
unfortunately.
I did not. I was
It's
like,
tough.
nope.
It's tough.
Whenever I could, I would actually just run past them, but there were a couple times I was like, I'm so sorry.
It was more of a mercy. I would use my bow instead.
I would do
of,
the same thing. Yeah.
I would try, but the boy is a fucking bitch because it like goes down. I don't care if it's unrealistic. Just go forward.
Yeah.
It's way better than
I
the
got that scope on those things.
It
It's
is.
like boom,
Hell
boom,
yeah.
boom. It helps a lot. But no, definitely it's tough to get through those sections. And the dogs shook up a lot of the stuff that they had before,
Yeah.
Yeah, and breaking glass and whatnot too, just to get to certain.
That was a cool, nice mechanic right there. The breaking glass.
It's so simple, but it just enhances everything.
Oh, it does.
But so when I first started playing the game, I did a little bit of video recording for it through OBS, and I actually ran into a few glitches.
Oh,
like, straight off the bat. It was weird.
Okay.
But did anyone else run into glitches at all? Because I know they had 2 patches that came out. But the first time it was like character models. It was during like cutscenes. But I think it was because I accidentally downloaded it to my external hard drive, which has been kind of finicky. But like once those updates came out and I moved it over to my PS4 hard drive, which I thought it was on originally, it kind of just stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyone running?
You sound like first world problems for us. Have you guys noticed that? Like,
I mean,
it's pretty funny.
every game is broken when it first comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's why
don't
they have
remember
day one
anything.
patches.
I don't remember like any glitches, so I'm gonna let you guys go. But if I remember anything, I'll point it out.
You're
Yeah.
fine, man.
I had only one glitch. It was
Mm.
with Abby. It was in the hotel, and I was like I was going through at one certain point. And I noticed her arm went like this out of nowhere, and I was like, "What the fuck is?" I actually recorded on my PS4, and as I was walking, I saw it doing this, going right around her. I was like, "I don't like that. Stop it, please!" And
Your arm's not supposed to bend.
oh
that
god,
way.
like it looked like her arm was broken, dude. And I restarted the encounter checkpoint, fixed it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of pop-in issues, like pop-in textures.
Really? Nothing like that at all.
And again, maybe it's because it's on my external hard drive. I haven't had any issues with my external, but I don't know if it's just trying to pull from there a little bit too hard. But I've had a couple pop-in textures, some on Tommy's clothing, some on Joel's, a lot in Abby's section actually.
Interesting.
I came out of one of the hotels and the whole thing wasn't even loaded with Manny. It wasn't even fucking loaded.
Wow.
I jumped down and then it finally like popped up and it was really weird. Like the front of her, everything in front of her was loaded, but when you turned around, everything was gone. And then it took like a second to click in. But again, this game, I got pushed off the release schedule, and I'm still ready to say I think it only came out because of the leaks. Like this game like there were still a lot of glitches that they weren't perfect, and I'm still ready to say they were going to put this thing on the PS5. There's no way that they were going to do this. That's why they pushed it off. They needed that big game, and then I'm sure they finally figured it out, and they're like, okay, we'll have Miles Morales. It's okay. Like that people will buy the console for Miles Morales.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually had an enhanced version of The Last of Us Part 2 on the PS5, even though the PS5 is going to be backwards compatible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and from what I'm probably assuming what they're going to do, I don't think there will be a straight remaster. I think you put in the game, it's an update. If you already own the game,
that
it's just an
would
update.
be most preferred. Yeah,
because that's what they're doing for the Marvel's Avengers. That's what they're doing for Cyberpunk 2077. Yep. It just makes sense because it's so close. And apparently, like, a lot of people are like always complaining how like this, this next console generation, the graphics don't look that much better. Well, here's the thing. We've kind of peaked on the graphics at this point, guys. The big difference is gameplay. Is supporting the graphics, but also having the game run at 60 frames per second, running way faster, running way better. It's that type of stuff.
I agree.
Yeah. And not to disagree with we've picked on the graphics, but I think the new games of the next gen look fucking amazing.
Yeah, they do. That ray tracing, though, man. The ray
Miles
tracing.
Morales with that fade. I was like, oh, they gave him a haircut. What?
Yeah,
I just saw a new video of. I was making a video with you, Christian. The last time I was here, talking about Godfall. I just saw a new video on it, and it looks. Cool. Oh my god! I was drooling looking at it.
I will say this, though. I still think, and I will put this, I think The Last of Us Part 2 is easily one of the top 3 best-looking games ever made.
I agree with that. Even say it's better than Uncharted 4?
Yes.
I
actually agree with that, too.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Uncharted 4 is really good. It's tough. Ren's like, I haven't played the game, but it's okay.
No, but I was just talking with Christian. I'm just finishing the story in Dragon Ball FighterZ. I'm going to start Uncharted and then finally to Bloodborne, which I have the collector's edition since I bought it. But for some reason, I just haven't played it.
I have your collector's edition.
Yeah, the Nightmare edition.
I want to.
I redirected it to my house.
No, I have it. Like,
okay.
I was just showing it to a friend of mine. Like, I just picked it up today, but for some reason, I just never got to play the game. I don't know why.
I mean, that's kind of me with Death Stranding. I kind of just gave up on it.
Yeah, I think I got like to a certain point. I was just like, yeah, I just want to play The Last of Us again.
That's what I was with Infamous Second Son when it came out. I was like excited for a while. Then I was like,
so much. That's such a fun game, Second Son. Such a fun.
Yeah.
Game.
I liked First Light.
I didn't like First Light. I thought that was boring. But, that's a different story.
I mainly got Second Son because of Troy Baker. That's really the reason why.
I still refuse to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to cut you off.
No, you're good. I didn't really run into anything that ruined the game,
okay.
Which is good because a lot of games you run into glitches and it pisses you off. And then you're like, fuck this. Never want to play this game.
Yeah. I had one with Dina, we're riding horseback, going sightseeing through Seattle, and like her leg was like bent like upwards. I'm like, what is going on? But I mean, yeah, a few glitches here and there. I saw some pretty bad ones that I didn't run into, but
Oh god.
I wanted to talk about the performances of the voice, of the cast really quick before we get into the story. I still refuse to believe that it's Troy Baker's voice, even though I've seen
doesn't even sound
countless. It doesn't. He has such a
phenomenal
huge
voice
range.
Actor. Such a great.
I'm
voice
like,
actor.
there's no way it's him. I see all these, mocap videos. I'm like, I still don't believe you. Like, I just don't. But it is crazy. Like, his voice is even deeper. I'm like, how?
Have you seen the video of him singing on a live stream?
Yeah.
As Joel. Yeah.
No, I have not.
Yeah, everyone on the live chat was like, "Sing Hurt by Johnny Cash, sing Hurt by Johnny Cash, sing Hurt by Johnny Cash." I was like, yeah, you got it.
That would have been very impressive because
Mm-hmm.
that's super, super deep. But
now Troy Baker, he's a fucking gem to say the least.
He really is.
I love that.
Ashley Johnson too. Like, I mean, her playing 14-year-old Ellie and 19-year-old Ellie as well.
Yeah.
Also, what's the character from Recess, Ren?
Gretchen.
I know that.
Yeah.
I saw your tweet and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, it's funny. It's like the guy who voices the dude from Chowder from Cartoon Network is Marcus Phoenix. Like, it's just like when you figure out stuff like that. Like, there's just certain ones like that you're just like, the fuck? Okay.
I was actually pretty shocked when Mark Hamill, when he's the voice of Firelord Ozai in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Yeah. I was like, oh, it's
that was one I immediately recognized the first time I watched Last Airbender, because the scratchiness, let's say, that on his voice is similar to the Joker. So I was like, is that Mark Hamill? And then I confirmed it. Like, I wasn't sure, but I was like, is that?
Speaking of Last of Us Part 2, Isaac starts talking. I'm like, is that Jeffrey Wright?
That's why I thought as well.
Jeffrey Wright. And I looked on IMDb. I'm like, that's Jeffrey Wright, man. How old is this dude? No, you talk about the performances, man. I thought they were incredible. There should be, it made me think about this. And I'm like, games now are redefining like stories and are kind of going to that new medium of like, this is pretty much a movie.
Yeah.
How do we celebrate this? How do we celebrate this game in the best light? Because, I mean, Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson easily turned into two of the best performances, I would say, of the last 10 years. And since the last game. And Laura Bailey as Abby.
As Abby, yes.
Let me say
Loved
this.
her.
If you were one of the people who are bullying her on social media,
Go fuck yourself.
I know we've already cussed, but are we allowed to cuss?
Yeah, you're fine.
I think we're way past that point.
Go fuck yourself so hard. You don't even deserve to play this game. You never deserve to play another Sony game. I'll say that.
I
Like,
agree.
Sony should track your IP, and when you buy the PS5, they fry it. They just fucking fry it for your fucking IP.
I mean,
Like you set up your PS5
Because
as
you know
soon
what's
as you get home, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna fuck up that PS5 right there."
Yeah. My first playthrough is Abby. I said, I do not want to do this. I do not like this. And then I started playing it. I was like, I really like this choice. My second time playthrough, I was more excited to get to Abby than I was to get through Allie's stuff. Because
she got the fire shotgun. I was like, let's go.
Well, I was trying to see and take time with her character a little bit more. The subtlety, and especially picking up collectibles, going through them, reading them,
Getting them coins,
the coins. Abby is a very sensitive character.
Oh, she is.
And, anyone making fun of her muscles, guys, understand this. If a man killed half the Fireflies, I would get big as shit too to get revenge if I needed to. She needed to get Jack to kill Joel.
Dude,
I want to say something about how big she is, but I'll let you finish your point when you get to me.
Here's the thing as well. She even says we cannot miss a single day of training. Like, she says it right there how she got so big.
She's a soldier. She's a soldier. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, seriously. She's not trans, guys. Just wanted to say.
Yeah.
I don't know why people have such an issue with that.
And even if she was,
it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, there's not even an issue
Lev's an issue with people. Lev's one of the best characters as well. And I just did a fan casting for who I'd want to play. I don't know if you guys watched this. Do you guys know who I want to play Abby?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think did you post it on Twitter or
I
no?
didn't see it.
Or was it a
I
video?
did. I didn't. It was a video, but I didn't post who I actually think. I'm ready to say, Chloe Grace Moretz should play Abby.
That's a good choice.
I thought about it. I said, I don't want like a Ronda Rousey. I don't want an unknown, but I was like, I want an actress who can kick ass, who I think can buff up a bit. And she's buff. I mean, if she got a little bit bigger, I think she could play Abby. But I said she would hit all the marks.
And
then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah. And I think for Jerry, her dad, that should be played by Troy Baker. I think it would be a cool little not to have that. But yeah, that's my number one choice to play Abby. I literally do not want anyone else. And then for Lev, I didn't know anyone, but I think just the actor who played Lev could do it.
Yeah,
I agree.
I saw your video. You said you thought an unknown, and all I could think was, but the kid who played Lev can play Lev again.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true,
same age. I'm assuming, or around the same age. I liked Lev a lot. I was like, I was kind of getting some Artreus vibes there. I'm like, I'm waiting for you to, get that bow and arrow with those lightning bolts. But
better.
Yeah, seriously though. Yeah, definitely better than Trey. Oh, Atreus. We still love you.
Atreus.
Boy.
I love that game so much.
It is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
What game's better? God of War, Last of Us Part 2.
Ooh, you know what? I wanted to ask you guys this as well because I feel like we're seeing a parallel.
Should we save that question then?
Yeah. Let's save it.
Fucking say, to be honest.
Let's get into the
time
story.
to think about it.
Yeah,
there's time. Thank God.
Let's get into the story and just nerd out because
let's do it.
Oh my God,
it's one of the greatest narratives I've ever experienced in a video game, without a doubt.
I'm heartbroken because even when I was watching my friend play as Joel, it's like I know what happens to him, and it's just
and I got
this gut feeling. I was just like, oh my God.
Well, and man, I was spoiled. I got leaked. I knew Joel was gonna die, and I still fucking cried. It was coming up. He walks in that room. I'm like, all right, this is it. And the way they suck the air out of that room when Tommy introduces him as Joel, and the room just gets sucked out, and then the shotgun blast. I said, "Oh, that's it." I said, "There's no going back from that shotgun to the knee." Like Joel survived a barb thing going straight through him. Which realistically, guys, if you're gonna complain about anything being unrealistic in this, go back and look at the first game. He should have fucking died. He should have died from that, but he didn't. Yeah.
And one thing I do want to add as well is that some people are saying it's out of character for Joel. Here's the thing. He's been with this talented amount of Jackson for quite some time, so you could probably imagine he probably started caring for a lot of people. So, and plus with his relationship with Ellie, he probably must have gotten softened up a little bit.
And the other thing I will also say, guys, you say Joel would have never given his name up. Okay, and he would have never gone back there. Two things. I want to know what you would do in that situation. Zombie horde's chasing you. Where are you going to go? You're going to trust this girl you just saved? You're going to expect for her to save your life? Second of all, when they walk in there, Joel does not give his name.
Yeah.
Tommy does. Tommy is the one that does it all. He's the one that says yes. Joel never had an answer to any of that.
Yeah, never did.
So, and you know what? I fully believe if it was Joel head-on-head with Abby, Joel would probably kill Abby.
I think he did say his name to one.
He did
person.
when he first met Abby. Yes, because when they first met, they're like, this is Tommy, I'm Joel, and then Abby's kind of like out of it for a second. She's like, wait, she's trying to put two and two together. She's like, is this Joel that I've been looking for? Because there might be more people named Joel. So,
and one thing I want to point out as well, some people are like, why to go with them? Abby gave them their only choice. If she did not say it, they would have fucking died.
They were literally in life or death situation. It's like,
Joel's already dead anyways, but still, the fact that she says, I have a settlement right over here, and if she did not say that, all three of them would have died right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying. Yeah.
Like, it's soon, it's like, oh, like, you've heard of us? As soon as Joel says that.
Oh.
And then I was just like,
dude, my heart.
feeling, I was like, suck the air out of me. I was like,
my heart was pounding, and right when I saw them hit Joel, I was like, no. And then right when I got to Ellie, I was like, it's like, Ellie, go.
And I thought Jesse was gonna come in and like save Joel. I'm like, okay, like, he's got a pretty bad wound.
That's why
I was like, nope, just fucking bash his freaking skull in.
I was crying so much. I was like, no. And then right when I tried to kill her, I was like, "Don't you fucking dare!" At that point.
The trailers.
I
made it seem
I
like
was still in
something else.
denial. I was still in denial because when
Mm.
they hit him with the one hit with the golf club, I'm like, did he die? Can you die of just one? Can you survive just one hit to the head? So I wasn't sure, but the scene keeps going and going, and I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, by the way, the music in that scene just, oh my god, it's just
Score's great.
Yeah.
Gustavo does. I mean, probably one of my
And he's
favorite
in the
scores.
game.
Yeah, he's the guy
Yeah.
playing the banjo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning when Jesse goes to get you, you can pet a
I
dog.
did
and right
not know
behind
that.
the dog,
Wow.
that's Gustavo
Yeah.
playing the banjo.
Wow.
And he's doing the
You can't
score for the
interact.
show.
Yeah, you can't interact with him. That's the one thing. It doesn't suck. It's not an issue, but
Yeah, there's always nice little Easter
I
egg.
wish.
I think Neil Druckmann, Troy Baker, and Ashley Johnson were actually on the Kind of Funny Games podcast.
they were.
I was
yeah.
just watching
And
this yesterday.
it's fantastic because
it's
it's
great.
like, I mean, Neil Druckmann was saying, we needed to like even the story beats like from the trailers, like they pulled like a Hollywood move and like swapped out a lot of stuff.
They
Well,
did.
and that's
like-
the thing. People were like misleading. And, one of your main topics you put in here is why do you think this is a controversial game?
Hmm.
People who complain about the misleading marketing, you can't complain because Avengers does the same thing. You can't complain because Star Wars
Exactly.
does the same thing. If that
How
is going to
dare
be your one thing against that, then your point is
People-
invalid. Every
Yeah.
single person who's mentioned that to me, I go, "Do you like Avengers Endgame?" Yeah, I love it. I love the trailers. I love how they hit it. Well, it's the same
It's the
fucking
same thing. It's
Like,
a
you
story-driven
can't-
game.
And that's the thing. It's just so ludicrous to me. And, the same thing controversial. Joel dying in the beginning. I fully believe if the leaks did not come out for this game, this game wouldn't be controversial.
No,
Because I'll be honest, when I got told the leaks and got spoiled, I didn't like the choices. I said, that's dumb. But execution-wise, if it executes it right.
Yes. I mean, I will say this. I mean, I understand why people are upset when Joel died. Was I upset? Of course I was.
That's
But
the
here's-
point.
But here's the thing, though. Something that I saw the most when the leaks came out, no one asked, why did he die? Why did he die? Why did he die? Everyone was like, fuck. But the one thing I kept thinking of, why did he die? But right when we got halfway through, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, once you find out why Abby did it, I mean, if you still are like, she deserves to die, you can be like that. But if you can't see from her perspective, you're just simple-minded. I mean, that's just the truth. Like, you
I agree.
obviously don't care. You don't care about. You can't be open-minded. Like, one of my friends hasn't even played the game, and we had this discussion where he doesn't even want to. And I talked to him. I was like, no, you shouldn't. I told him these are the thematics. This is stuff, and he goes, oh shit, that actually makes the game pretty cool. He goes, I should go play it. I said, yeah, the first game's your favorite of all time. Why wouldn't you want to try this one
You're like,
out?
yeah, you should. At that point.
Yeah.
It's just like it seems like such a simple revenge story, but it's
Mhm.
like revenge is the plot, but it's not.
There's so much
necessarily
more
the
to it than just revenge.
so
There
many
really
layers.
is. Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
the plot, which is the death of Joel, but then you also have like the death of Abby's father, and it's like
I actually teared up a little bit when I saw that. I was like, oh no.
When you saw the
Joel.
zebra, did you guys expect it to go to the zoo?
yeah,
To be at that same thing?
I did.
I
did.
Kind of.
or
Kind of.
yeah, come from that, but it's
But like, I will say this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
I will say this. When you go after Ellie's part of Seattle Day 3, when you switch to Abby, I was thinking, man, okay, there are three possible theories in my head right now. One of them is one why Joel died because Abby is Ellie's mother too, which was a fucking long shot, honestly. The second reason why is because Abby was a Firefly, which turned out to be true. But I was half right because I did not expect her to know Marlene. And then the moment I saw the next cutscene where her dad was talking with Marlene, I just thought, oh no. And then right when you get to that cutscene with the long hallway, I just thought, fuck.
Yeah.
That broke my heart in so many ways.
Now I wonder
Yeah.
if Neil always planned it from the beginning like that.
Same, yeah.
Like
I
if he
wonder
always had
what
a
actually
thought
sparked
of
it.
like, but at the same time, not. It's just a smart detail because my friend was like, "Can't you not kill that guy?" I'm like, "No, no matter what, you kill that guy."
Yeah,
Yeah.
no matter what.
It's the other doctors. You
I
don't
did
know.
try to
Yeah.
I actually did try to not kill him before the part 2 came out, and I saw the bottom prompt was there and you had to do it. You had no choice.
Yeah.
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 I just shoot him every time I walked in.
Get on the ground now.
I'm like, I don't need these bullets anymore. Boom, boom, boom.
I mean, I killed him, of course, but I didn't kill the other 2 doctors in the room.
I lit up the room.
I killed every single firefly. Fuck the fireflies.
I relish in the violence, so I did like Austin and I smashed their heads into the wall and killed them with my bare hands.
See, I like playing as Abby and like smashing people's heads at the walls.
I'm telling I really did like playing as Abby because
Same.
And as Zach was saying, seeing it from her perspective, and it's like, and I think Zach has said this in one of his videos. This is like a vicious cycle of hatred because it's there is no real villain, there is no real hero, because it's like, okay, yeah, Joel made a choice, but he did it in the sake of love. Yeah. But we all know that love drives us to do crazy things. That's why Joel did it. So it's
the first game is all about love.
And the same with Abby. The reason why she went after Joel is because of her love for her father.
Yeah.
Well,
and Abby's father.
Right.
Well, the Abby's father is like, hey, let's try to save humanity. But then, he gets killed for it. It's like, who's right, who's wrong? Because it's like
that's the thing. Abby and Ellie both have the same journey. They're just at different points in that journey. Like eventually Abby stops being Ellie and she starts being Joel when she finds Lev, and Lev is now the Ellie to Abby's Joel.
That's exactly what I thought.
That's why I love the parallels.
And it's the parallels, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Like, guys, this is one of the best games ever created. I'm being straight up with that. I agree. And now I can't have part 1 without part 2, and I can't have part 2 without part 1. This game is just fucking brilliant in the way that it does all that. And playing through a second time again, my one nitpick, I guess I would say, is Abby's part does seem slower. This second playthrough, it's actually a lot faster. Because I knew what was coming, and it's actually, the thing I noticed is her levels are shorter.
It seemed it seemed longer actually when I played it the first time.
The first time I feel, because you don't know when the game's gonna end. Everything feels like an eternity. Like on my second playthrough,
I did like that a lot though.
Yeah, and like I noticed that her levels are way shorter. Collectibles, like going through the guide, way easier to get.
Oh yeah.
And then throwing in the other thing with Abby's character is they did a smart thing with it, is making like the only part of her story that I maybe would have tinkered down a bit is some of the flashbacks, but still not as bad.
Same, yeah.
And the bridge, I thought the bridge was a little too long. Like, especially
I loved that part.
So I loved it because I am definitely afraid of heights. So I resonated with Abby.
I didn't mind the bridge part, but I agree with Zach. Like in general, her section, there are portions of her entire gameplay that can be cut down just a little bit and make everything more compact. Like I don't mind the bridge, the sky bridge thing, but I mind that you have to go all the way down again. You can cut that in little places and just make it faster.
Yeah, because there are certain parts in Ellie's 3-day journey where they just do a cutscene and you're already at Hillcrest, like area. So yeah.
And the flashbacks, I also agree that can be cut down a little bit on Abby's part, and her sequence in the island, which is awesome. It's probably
I love that part
of the Abby gameplay. Like you get to the point where you meet Isaac and you have to run away, and then I also think, but in between that and getting to the part where the village is on fire, you can cut a little bit of that out as well. And I talked with Zach on your video. The last thing that I think can be cut down is, I know it's a cutscene, it's not exactly gameplay, even though getting in there is still gameplay. The aquarium scene where you eventually find Owen and Mel dead, I think that can just be, let's move on.
Yeah, because you already know what happens.
I can see that.
I know it's important for her. Yeah. I just think it takes so long to actually get inside the aquarium.
It takes ages to get in,
I think that's cut down.
But I get it was like building up. But again, this second playthrough really brought that about me, how much I really like enjoying playing as Abby. And like when I was going through, I'm like, if they do like a Lost Legacy thing, it'll probably be about Abby and Lev, to be honest.
Maybe.
And at first I was like, I don't really know if I'd want that. But now I actually wouldn't care. I think Abby and Lev are interesting characters. But again, I only want more story to be told if there is a story to be told.
Same.
I do not want them to feel like they need to do a part 3 just because they feel like they need to. I think there is potential. Me and Ren have talked about this, that we think there is potential there to do another story, but is it needed? Do we need another Last of Us part 2? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
What I said when I made a video with you is that, like, if they do a third Last of Us, I'll be there day one. I'm going to buy it. Like, I'm not going to say otherwise because it's not true if I say otherwise.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, though. I don't know how to go for another great game like this, too.
Yeah. I think that, but honestly, I think this is over. This story is over, and it's beautiful that it's over, and it's Ellie and Joel's story, and that's it, and I love it that way. But again, if they do a third one, I'll be there.
I was gonna say one thing I do want to add is that what was that, Christian? You were mentioning how there's like no villains or heroes. This game is tells the biggest shit of gray story I have ever seen.
I absolutely love it. They're Ellie and Abby are both the protagonists in their mind of their own story, because you have Joel. It's like, okay, Ellie knows that Joel has done some fucked up stuff. Oh yeah. And even Dina with her sister, she said, if I ever were to get the hands on, my sister's killers, I would probably do like way worse. Yeah. But it's like the overall story is about Ellie's grief and her effects of Joel's death, because I personally feel that she feels guilty after learning the truth about the Fireflies, and she can't fix that relationship anymore. And, she has PTSD. She's depressed even throughout the game. It's like she gets skinnier and skinnier. And, the ending where she, loses her fingers and can't even play guitar anymore, because that was the last connection.
I felt that
she had. Yeah. The last connection she had to Joel. And it killed me.
I want to slightly disagree with you in terms that what she feels is guilt, but I want us to get to the favorite scene in the game for me to talk about.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, favorite scene. Jeez.
So, because I have one talking point here. I think it was one of Zach's friends who was saying that we should have had a choice to kill Abby.
Oh no, that's Rudy.
Rudy, yeah. And I thought it was interesting, but like I had to take a step back. I was like, that's more of like an RPG element. This is more of, story driven. Like there has to be a definitive ending. Yeah. Because if there isn't, then it's like, okay, well, we gave players a choice. Like, let's say if they do make a part 3, we gave players a choice.
Yeah.
Now, do we go with, Ellie actually ends up killing Abby, or do we not? So it's kind of up in the air, but I saw what he was coming from.
If they did give you a choice, the point of the whole story would be
I think
it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's not what the story is saying.
What I will say is that a lot of people, would I have minded if you could have killed Abby? Probably not. But at the same time, the story is, not just about revenge, but the cycle of violence and how it affects you through the time of your living. And if Ellie had killed Abby, she wouldn't have learned a damn thing, I feel like.
No.
And not only that, but like every time I see that cutscene, I always think of when Joel died and Owen says one particular line, "We kill him, we're no better than he was."
Yeah.
And I just thought, if Ellie killed Abby, she wouldn't have been as bad as she was.
Yeah, she I agree. Killed a pregnant woman. She's just freaking just.
Oh my god!
It's like when she realizes that, it's like her whole world, like her body just shuts down, because as we learned throughout the game, Dina ends up being pregnant. Abby, not Abby, excuse me. Ellie gets pissed at her. I'm like, I probably would have had the same reaction. It's like, why are you now telling me this?
Yeah, I think it was at that point that I started thinking back on the whole game, and then going forward, I felt it even more. It's because we love Ellie so much, because it's so raw and it's so real. The character is so well worked, and you feel so much for her. It starts feeling like you have this so close friend, but he's continuing, taking heroin, and you're like, you'll love this person, but you're like, dude, stop! What the fuck are you doing? Don't. And you just wanted to stop, and you're in this journey that you want to help and you want to be there for them, but it's what they're doing is wrong, and it's wrong.
It's hard. It's really hard. And even with Ellie, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's why I love this game, because they, through both paths of revenge, they pretty much lose everything.
Yeah, they
Abby,
do.
all of her friends, everything she's grown up on. And yes, she gains Lev, but that's not been a big part of her life.
Yeah.
And Ellie, in a sense, loses the love of her life, loses Jesse, a close friend, loses Joel, but Joel was the catalyst for it. Tommy loses everything. It just shows that revenge is not always the path needing to be taken.
Mhm.
And I think we see that a lot towards the farmstead part, which is so important to Ellie, because when the PTSD kicks in and Tommy comes back to guilt her into it, you're just like, fuck, she's gonna go.
That was probably my favorite scene.
Dude,
Since we'll essentially get into that. Like,
dude, reading that journal, oh my god, like seeing it's like I can't eat, I feel hollow.
Yeah.
And I feel like, honestly, if she had killed Abby in the end, she would have felt even more hollow, if you ask me, by the end of it.
I agree.
Yeah. I feel like
because
Sorry, go
you see that in the beginning when Abby kills Joel. After that, it's a hollow victory. Like, she doesn't win.
Yeah.
And she's not any happier.
Yeah,
and
and
then
one
all of
thing I
her
noticed-
friends get picked off one by one by Ellie.
One thing
So
I
it's
noticed
like-
as well is that when she kills Joel, she doesn't have a sigh of relief at all. She's still
No.
angry afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she still
she doesn't
is.
feel any better. Yeah, it's much. I compare it to like when Thor kills Thanos in Endgame. Like it's a
hollow victory.
victory, but it's really a defeat because
Yeah.
there's no triumphant music. There's nothing. There's only it's done. Now what?
And this is
Exactly.
also goes to the most other controversial part before we kind of get into our least favorite, our favorite scenes that I want to mention is that people hate that Ellie did not kill Abby. I do not believe you should have even been given a choice. That
Same.
would have taken away everything. Yes, it would have been interesting because then Naughty Dog could have looked, okay, well, do people like did our way of working work? But for me, even if they gave me a choice, I wouldn't have killed her.
Same.
No,
I wouldn't think I needed to, because for me, what would that have done for Ellie? And I think, you see her choking her out under the water and you see that flashback pop up of Joel playing the guitar, and you finally see at the end and you go, oh, those last few moments that Joel says to Ellie where he goes, if God would have given me another chance, I would have done it all over again. And I think Ellie noticed in that time frame, and I think she even noticed it right then and there, that Joel just wanted to give her a life to live that he never got. And that he would not want her doing revenge. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Joel would have wanted her going out and killing all these people, because that's not who Ellie was. And I think even Ellie notices it as she continues that. After she kills Nora, after she kills Mel and Owen, I feel like she's driven. We feel like that she's driven by a path of guilt by herself. Because that Abby took away any sign of them rekindling. But truthfully, she's more driven by guilt and pissed off at Abby, and more likely herself, because she took too long to forget.
To forget, I feel 100% the exact same way. Ellie, she thinks, killing Abby is going to put her mind to rest, but, she thinks the nightmares are going to stop, her PTSD and whatnot, as she puts in her journal. But it's like, Abby spares her life twice.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying to people. Dude, oh my god. You want to know something that annoys me so much? Okay, on Twitter, I see a lot of people saying, oh, so in God of War 3, what if Kratos spared Zeus? Here's the thing. Zeus never spared Kratos.
Yeah.
He always tried to kill him. Every time after God of War 2, where I keep reminding people, Abby spared her life twice. And here's the thing. The first time, she was never after Ellie. She was always after Joel. And the second time, she spared Ellie because of Liv. If Lev wasn't there, she would have killed Dina easily.
That's actually where I was spoiled at. I was told that she dies.
I thought Dina was a gun. I was like, well,
Ellie, just keep killing Abby. It's okay.
And by the way, Zach, I want to add something to your point right there. I don't think she was just driven by guilt. She was driven by hate as well and revenge, because the entire time, she wanted to reconnect with Joel, but hate and revenge kept on piling on top of her like a dark cloud the entire time. And right when she got to that point, that flashback, that's where she's like, okay, I want to forgive you. And she realizes that if she had killed Abby, I feel like forgiveness, that humanity of her would have been gone entirely if that happened.
And I think, and again, this game is all about humanity. This game is about making you think. It's not the typical revenge story you get. And I don't know why people wanted a typical revenge story. If she would have killed Abby, sure, I would have been fine, but I wouldn't have given this game a 10 out of 10. I would have felt like, okay, like, all right, the game was great up until that point, but it just didn't, it felt like repetitive. Now, I will say, if Abby would have ended up killing Ellie, the thing is, cycle of violence would have continued.
Exactly.
Saul eventually came after Abby again. If Ellie would have ended up killing Abby, I guarantee Ellie would not have killed Lev in that moment. Lev would have healed in some way, shape, or form, and Lev would have tracked down Ellie and wanted to kill her. It's that cycle that would have just kept continuing, and it killed a repetitive nature. That's why if they do a third game, I don't know how you do one, because it can't be a revenge story, which I would argue that this probably does kind of feel like a third and a second game put together.
It does.
Some elements of it, but the only part of a story, and I think me and Ren talked about this, was pursuit of happiness for Ellie. That's the only place you could go with her story. Yeah. And, you know, I'll be honest, they do a third one, Ellie won't live. Ellie will probably end up dying.
Yeah, probably. I feel like if they made a third one, she would give up her life to at least, you know, because to make her life feel meaning, because when she was talking to Joel and she said, you know, I was supposed to die in that hospital. My life was supposed to fucking matter. And, you know, that's when we got into that scene itself. But it's crazy. I was watching girlfriend reviews. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it.
Yeah, I saw the video.
It was phenomenal. They were saying, you know, there's no difficulty in the game to make, or there's no difficulty in the game or in life to making forgiving someone easier. Yeah. And it's like the game teaches the player how well do you cope with pain. And it's like, I mean,
like I watched that video and I was like, that's literally what I have been saying. And I talked to Zach about it in his video. Literally everything she says, I've said it. And I was like, I'm glad someone more famous than me is spreading it around.
Yeah. Neil Druckmann, you know, he caught wind of it and he's like, this is fantastic. Like, absolutely. It's like, there's, wow. But
didn't say anything about my tweet, motherfucker.
So I guess let's dive into our favorite scenes. We'll go around the pod here.
Oh god.
We'll start with Ren. You know, what was your favorite moment? Doesn't even have to be a cutscene. It could just be a.
But it is a cutscene.
Oh, okay. So what it is.
Okay. Like there are so many moments that I can pinpoint in this game that really got me. But to me, the penultimate scene in the game, like that last flashback where Nelly goes to Joel and he's on the porch drinking some coffee in the evening. They have the whole conversation. My life was supposed to fucking matter, and I would have done it all again if I had the chance. But to me, the last lines are the ones that really got me. Like, I don't know if I can ever forgive you, but I would like to try. And you can just see the heart and Joel coming back together, the pieces of his heart. And like, I like that. And that scene to me was a revelation because yes, you already understood everything what Ellie was going through, and of course she's mad at Abby throughout this whole game, rightfully so, but she's really mad not at Abby having killed Joel, but at taking the opportunity away from Ellie to forgive Joel. She was taking away a chance to forgive him, to open back his heart, because as mad as Ellie is in that moment, in throughout the game, she fucking loves Joel. She will die for Joel.
The whole reason why she goes on this journey.
Die for her. That scene, and then when she comes back to the present and she's not being able to play guitar, it's just that
killed
scene,
me,
man.
Oh yeah,
baggage, man.
Yeah.
Zach, what about you? What's your favorite?
So Ren stole mine. That's mine.
Now I got to come up with another one.
the museum one.
Yeah, thankfully I did.
I love
that museum. But most in particular, the spaceship. I love that moment so much. And then I do want to give a shout out to Abby's the whole forest sequence with Yara and Love when she
that is
one of my favorite moments in gaming ever.
That was fucking crazy.
It's intense. The graphics, everything. I think that's when the graphics really were like showing out.
Dude,
like, holy fuck, this is the best looking game.
The lighting and that fire just blew my mind.
The burning car, just
And then when everyone goes through their favorite scenes, I have a question to ask everyone. So
Austin, go ahead. I'll go last. Austin, go ahead.
Okay, so there's a couple of favorite scenes. One, my favorite scenes when I first played the game was the "Take on Me" sequence. Dude, when Ellie was singing that, it brought me back into one of the moments of the original game, because one of the things I loved about the original game was that, yes, it's a depressing game, yes, but there are many beautiful moments, small beautiful moments throughout that entire game, and that was a callback to me to the first game. That the museum sequence, I was in tears. The end sequence, Jesus God, Ren, you just had to say that one. And I would say another one. I would probably say that final fight sequence between Ellie and Abby, because that for me was like watching two parents that I had connected with through two games fighting, and I did not want to press that controller or press a button whatsoever. I wanted that to be a cutscene the entire time as I was watching that. But God, it was I was like literally, don't stop, and when Ellie finally stopped, I was like, oh, thank God. God, I could go through so many other moments, but the Take on Me moment, just I love that moment so much.
Yeah. So you guys already pretty much took all the other ones I was gonna say, especially
Shit.
That's
I
fine.
had one more, but I didn't say it because I wanted to leave it for you. But if you don't say that one, I'll say it.
I'll see. So there's two. The first one, they both happen towards the end of the game.
Okay.
The conversation that essentially starts Abby's journey when Jesse comes to wake her up, and the whole sequence when the bartender calls her dyke.
Yeah.
And Joel tries, to come in and, defend her. And then Ellie, right off the bat, she's like, I don't need your fucking help, Joel. And it's just like, wow, like,
you're like, fuck, that's the last word she said. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, wow, like, okay, I can totally understand. But then obviously, leading up to the port scene moment. But I would say just with the barn sequence when Ellie is freaking out when she's holding JJ, aka Potato, and she's just I thought she was gonna run into like an infected or something, but it's like just her reliving that, and it really puts you in perspective of this is how it gives you some idea of how to live. People live with PTSD, and like she's like yelling and freaking out. Just JJ's crying because it just rehashes it all over again. But I wanted to bring up the Future Days Pearl Jam. And it's like the first two lines, if I ever were to lose you, I'd surely lose myself. And it's like Ellie
brilliant
loses
That's
herself.
the motto of the game.
I love that. And I was like, oh my God, they're playing Pearl Jam? It's just, I love it. Absolutely love it.
The use of music in this is great. So my question I had for you guys was, what was the most underrated or your favorite subtle moment in this game? Austin mentioned mine, which is the Take on Me.
Dude,
I was worried when this game started that we weren't going to get those subtle moments like the giraffe sequence and the small dialogue between Joel and Ellie in this game. I was very nervous we weren't going to get any of that, but I was very happy to see it was still in here. There's small dialogue of like them talking about Point Break in the bank, the Take on Me sequence, in particular is mine. Abby and Owen at the aquarium seeing the sea lion. Is sea lion? Yeah, sea lion.
Yeah, sea lion. Yeah.
And it's just those moments. I'm like, this is the reason that I really love this game, because it teaches you that in life there are those little things that you should appreciate more.
Gotta enjoy little things.
And I even think in those flashbacks that we get, you can tell Abby regrets. If she never had this anger towards Joel killing her dad, she would still be with Owen.
Yeah.
And that would have been her thing. So
I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is on purpose or if it was just me and my broken heart. I'll have to play again to confirm it. But there's a moment when Ellie realizes that Mel was pregnant after she killed her. She starts flipping out, and then Tommy and Jesse come in, and you have the camera is pointing somewhere else, and then it turns, and you see Tommy, and then Jesse's in the back. But as soon as I looked at Tommy, and I never realized I never thought him and Joel looked similar. But when he comes in, I was like, Joel?
That's what I thought too.
And I don't know if it was on purpose. I don't know if they did something with his face or if it was just me, because I need to play it again, even if for just that moment, because I was like, Joel's alive! Oh my God!
I legit thought the same thing too, actually. I was like, Joel, it's Tommy. Damn it.
when the horse was there, I was like, oh shit, who's that? And I walked down, I'm like, Tommy. how the fuck did you live?
Seriously,
You got
though,
shot in the back of the head.
He
oh my
literally
God, yeah.
was. He was messy. I thought Dina
That's
was
what I
dead
thought
too.
Yeah.
I was like, well, she's a goner. She, oof, man.
I was like, oh yeah, Tommy's alive.
Tommy's alive. Tommy. Well, yeah, I definitely think. I mean, everyone loses a lot in this game, but I actually think that Tommy loses more than everybody else. Because I mean,
I could see that. I can see
I
that.
mean,
I don't think more
He
than
lost
anybody
everything.
He literally lost everything.
everything. And that's my
Yeah.
thing. A lot of people always point out, like, with an issue is that, well, Tommy is ready to go back. Well, yeah, he went back. Jesse's dead. Everyone's fucking beaten up. He's lost his ability to really even move. And he lost the girl that he loved. And
his brother.
Abby got away.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
like, so for me, it's like,
And
at
his
that
baby,
point in time,
Bree was pregnant, wasn't she?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So at that point in time, you're just like, well, yeah, he's gonna be frustrated.
Oh yeah,
He
like,
can't go kill Abby.
And
Yeah.
something else I should probably add on is that I don't think Ellie meant to kill Owen and
She
crap.
was
and
just-
Mel. She never meant them. Like she
Yeah.
killed them in self-defense.
Yeah.
Like she
That's the
just
thing,
remembers
yeah.
them from the picture, and she's just like they were there the night that it happened.
Exactly.
So
And,
they
and,
have
she,
to die.
and
Yeah.
she actually felt terrible about killing them. By the way, from what I
Yeah.
remembered.
Yeah,
she felt
the way
Yeah.
the way I feel in that, the only one that Nora was a bitch.
Oh
And
no,
when she
Nora was a
said-
bitch. Yeah.
Oh,
and
no.
that's the thing. But when she got to Owen and Mel, she goes, "Just tell me." Now I
Yeah.
believe if they would have pointed out a different area, then she probably would have ended up killing them.
Mhm.
But the fact is, she was willing to probably let them go.
Oh, she
Yeah,
Because
was,
Abby
yeah.
wasn't there. Abby's not there.
I honestly totally believe that when she says, "Just tell me where she is," and I can let you go. I totally believe Ellie.
Yeah, I think.
I
she
think
would've
the
let them
Nora
go
thing
entirely.
shook her up so much she was ready to
Yeah.
just be done with it.
Though
Yes.
Nora, oh my God, you bet your ass I hit that
Dude, she
score
took
button.
Nora down with her into those
Uh-huh.
spores. I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
that was probably
Which
one
is
of my
what I really
favorite-
liked. She uses the her immunity into her advantage.
Mhm.
As a
Mhm.
superpower.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's great.
pretty much. Even when
Yeah.
Dina finds out, because
Mhm.
Ellie tries to tell her when they're about to get busy on the
Yeah.
couch, and she's like, "Oh, it's I was bitten, and I'm immune." She's like, "I don't believe you," and then
Yeah.
she's like, "All right, my mask
And
is
he's like,
gonna
I just
break."
told you a real fucking story. I just told you a real fucking story.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, we're just gonna do this in real time and let
Yeah.
you know."
Now we talked about our favorite. Should we talk about the least favorite? Because I have one in particular.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
The
maybe I
sex
have
scene.
one.
Cut the shit out. You
I
could have
didn't
cut it.
mind
I didn't
that
need to
so
see.
much,
I
to
didn't
be
need to see.
honest.
I didn't need to see video game titty. And it wasn't.
I was
video
not
game
expecting
titty.
that. I
It
was
looked
like, okay,
my
Naughty Dog. Like
well,
they just
I just got past that scene last night, and I was just sitting there, and I'm like, there's just something weird about video game sex,
I can see
and
that.
also it felt very abusive. They're fighting, and then they're
Outside
like,
of
"Yo, let's
God of
just
War,
fuck it."
yes.
Yeah, they're like, "Let's just fuck it out." Okay, so
I
Owen and her
didn't
fuck,
mind it, to
and
be
I'm like,
honest.
okay, okay, okay. That's
like,
that's,
I'm like, we're doing this. Like, this is
Well,
let it
I
happen.
like
and-
to imagine. I like to imagine that's Zach having sex. Okay. Okay.
see.
Okay. We're done.
Oh
Oh,
my God.
yeah, pretty much, man. No, and just like my TV's facing right against the door, and that scene comes up, and it's like I gotta get up, go close the door for like 2 minutes. I just don't want anyone to be like, "What the fuck are you watching?" It's just like, come on now.
It's better to explain if it's porn.
Video game titties.
Yeah, exactly.
It just doesn't look cool. I mean, that's the one scene I would have been like, cut it out, or just they could have started it and then cut.
Yeah, I can see it. Like
That's how I would've
as they're
wanted it.
moving her shirt, they could have probably cut that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I don't mind that they did it. I don't mind it. I just think it's weird. And Abby's a piece of shit. Cheated on fucking. Well, yeah.
Well,
they're both
yeah.
to be blamed.
Well, yeah, they're both flawed characters. I mean, if I can say the one thing I'd say I was confused about, but I can imagine so if there's a part that they'll explore it, that new gang that appears at the end, like there's really
Oh,
no
the
explanation
Rattler.
for those guys.
the
Yeah.
Rattlers, yeah.
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
like, what's their purpose? But at the same
Shamblers.
time, like I was talking to my buddy Gary about it after I beat the game, and I was just like, well, here's the thing: if there's a part 3, maybe they'll have more of that. But then again, I'm pretty sure Ellie took all of them out.
Well, and that's my thing. It was a little weird to have like a completely different faction come in,
That's
but it
what I thought,
also
too.
I don't know if it's just me. I also love that they touched on like California area and stuff because like I'm
Yeah.
from California, I'm from
Oh.
Arizona, so like it gave me that like Western vibe. We've only seen like other areas of the United States, so I liked that element. The Rattlers, like if they're those people are probably from fucking Arizona, Texas, and New Mexico all put together.
Yeah.
They probably
Yeah.
know Heisenberg for all I know, but it didn't bug me too much.
Do you remember the suggestion I gave in relation to the Rattlers?
It was supposed to be
Like I don't think
you
it's
say
an
it.
issue,
It's
but
your idea.
it bothered me kind of that it was just a completely new group. But what I would have liked to see, and I want to hear Austin's thoughts on this, was if after Isaac died, the wolves just like went off the rails and were playing with victims and feeding them to the infected and whatnot, because I like that like twisted, just completely sadistic touch to the Rattlers, but I would have liked to see that was an effect of Isaac dying.
I agree with that. I agree. I would have loved to have seen something like that. I mean, that's the only minor issue I had with the game. I would say it's more nitpick because I still like that they have like, I mean, they do kind of explain like their tortures, they're just putting people for sport and all that stuff. But honestly, it's just it's like a minor nitpick I have.
I mean,
like,
honestly, if the
otherwise.
apocalypse happened, I'd probably do the same. I'd grab people I don't like. I'd go down the street,
sick,
like
twisted bastard.
people I don't like. I'd go find teachers that gave me Fs. I mean, someone coming to my camp and, I don't like them, like ex-girlfriend who cheated on me. Shit, we do need bait today. So I guess you can come in. We'll give you a job. But no, I want to explore this world more. I want to touch into this world more. And it's tough because do I even want another game without Ellie? At this point,
It's very tough. Like even when I started my second playthrough, like when I finished my first playthrough, like I had this really like strong urge. I'm like, I need to play this again. I need to play this again. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima doesn't come out for like a while. I'm like, I can beat it before then for sure. Yeah. So I mean, I'm like, I'm just gonna platinum it, and when I come back to the game, I'm just gonna go.
Do you guys platinum a lot of your games, by the way?
I've only platinumed a couple of games on my PS4. Spider-Man and God of War being two of them.
So I think I platinum like 3. I love getting trophies. I love getting achievements. I am a fucking addict to those. But at the same time, I also never have to get them all. But something about The Last of Us Part 2 literally said, "Hey Zach, come here. Zach, come here."
I want to platinum Last of Us Part 2.
It came to me in my dreams.
Well, it's also one of the easier ones to platinum. That's why
it is. It's like Spider-Man.
See, Spider-Man, I'm really close to platinuming, but my game is glitched. My game is glitched on the doing all the side stuff. So those like random crimes, I literally swing around in one area that I need 2 more done for 30 minutes and nothing showed up. Not a single thing. Wow. So I found out it's a glitch. So I either have to restart the game. So I just fuck it. It's not even worth it.
Also, I want to add, I also platinum Trover Saves the Universe as well.
I remember platinuming a Hannah Montana game back in the day. I think it was on my PS3.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I want to platinum Control as well, by the way. Control as well. I got a platinum.
Yeah. Because I had an old PlayStation account that I forgot.
How dare you, Zach?
Control.
I bought it on my PC. Play Control? Did you guys play Control?
No. Well, I started playing it. But
I was so excited for that game. And I just was like, I liked it. But I do not get why it's like so hyped up. Like I thought like the build up to the ending, Austin, was so like abrupt. Like it just I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's it?
I haven't played it, but a friend of mine told me it's like, what if a Black Widow game was directed by Christopher Nolan? That's how he described it to me.
I described it more as like Kubrick meets Lynch in a way, meets a little bit of Doctor Strange. That's how I described it as.
All right.
A tad of Doctor Strange, but definitely more Kubrick and Lynchian, like way more like that, because it is a fucking weird game, but I love weird stuff like that.
Yeah, Alan Wake, weird as fuck, but great.
Oh, that was such a good
Alan
game.
Wake.
Love it.
Make a sequel, please.
Seriously,
I will die for a sequel for that.
Never's gonna happen. If I don't get a sequel to Sunset Overdrive, we don't deserve one for Alan Wake.
I agree. That game was so good. And everyone's like, "Oh, this is stupid." I'm like, "It's fun."
Eat my ass, everyone.
The character customization in that game was fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with him.
So between the new characters, I think we kind of already touched on that. With Lev and Abby and whatnot, was like for me, I guess for least favorite character, who would be? Because I've heard some people say Mel.
Oh, I got one.
For me, it was probably either Isaac or Owen. I mean, I didn't really care for Isaac all that much. I mean,
I wish I'm gonna be honest. I felt like there was missing stuff. I feel like they cut stuff with Isaac and a lot of stuff with Abby. I know they cut Ellie going to the island. When Ellie was in the boat, she was actually supposed to go to Scars Island. And I mean, I don't think that was needed at all, to be completely honest. But I do think there was stuff missing with Isaac. How the hell do you get Jeffrey right?
The only thing missing with Isaac, because I watched the spoiler cast with Neil Druckmann and stuff, the only thing missing with him was how him and Abby know each other. So basically, he was a friend of Allie's father in the Fireflies, and that's it. And then he took Abby under his wing. But that's the only thing that didn't actually make it to the game. Other than that, there was never.
So that would have been like a flashback or something.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Which I kind of wish they would have had that then.
Me too. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it isn't there, but knowing it was an idea, I'm like, I would have liked to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the character I dislike, I mean, to be honest, I guess it's only because he cheats on Mel. That's about it. Otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, every character. I mean, and maybe I guess Isaac only because, I mean, I think he has just enough character in the game. But honestly, the one I dislike, but I don't even dislike the guy, but Owen, only because he is justifiable in his reasons. I mean, not for cheating on Mel, because fuck him for that. But otherwise, but no, like, even he was saying, like, in the beginning of the game, right before they're about to kill Ellie, don't do this, man. Like, we're only here for Joel.
So that's why I didn't like Owen really the first time through. I'm like, he's so fucking annoying. But the second time through, I kind of saw more of a perspective on him. I'm like, I actually really like his character.
Yeah.
I just don't think they did a lot with him. Personally, I don't have a least favorite character. There's something that I like about almost each and every character.
Same.
I want to ask you guys, though, who's your favorite new character? Mine's Dina. I fucking love Dina.
Yes.
Dina was a great addition. And I couldn't get over her. I even really like Jessie. I really like Jessie.
I loved Jessie.
Dude, Dina's relationship with Ellie was my favorite. Was honestly that and Abby's relationship with Lev. Those are my favorite parts of the game. They really were.
Well, and I think that's the thing about Last of Us.
Die.
The relationship aspect is what's so important to The Last of Us. And talking about Dina dying, so when this game was getting marketed and they said that it's a revenge story, and then I saw Dina, I'm like, you're going to kill Dina.
Yeah. I thought Dina was going to die.
And I'm going to be honest, I feel like earlier in development, they probably had conversations about that.
Probably.
But I think it came down to the point that as viewers, if Dina died and we only spent an hour and a half, 2 hours with her, we would have just been like, we're only on this journey because we like Ellie. But since they killed Joel and we love Joel, now we're into this. So, yeah, interesting thing in that part.
Yeah, it had to be a huge push. It's like, I mean, if Joel doesn't die, it's like there is no second game.
There really isn't.
Like at all.
No.
So it's like, I mean, I guess you could try to kill Tommy. I mean, we kind of spent time with them, but from the first game, it was Joel and Ellie. So yeah. I do like the really quick, the nice little callback when, the side conversations that Dina and Ellie have when they're through Seattle, where Ellie brings up, oh my gosh, not Tommy, Bill from the first game.
Oh,
when you're going through all of the mine traps, and she's like, oh, like I met one of Joel's friends who had an entire town rigged. And Dina's like, oh, that sounds like really sad. He was alone. But Ellie's like, yeah, but I mean, kept him alive. So it's like,
yeah, he did.
I thought that was.
I really like that. Also, I like Bill a lot. I want Bruce Campbell to play him in the HBO miniseries.
That is
going.
I'm very interested to see what that is going to be like, because through video games we have this. It's this empathy through control. You feel like you are Ellie, you are Joel, you are Abby going through this. Especially when I was playing as Abby on, when she's going over the sky bridge with Lev, like I felt that. I was like, Abby,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Oh, I guess favorite new character is Abby. I mean, I was thinking side
Yeah,
character. I didn't
favorite new
think-
character is Abby.
Yeah.
Abby is amazing. But
Lev
if I were
was
to-
great, and then
honestly,
her
Lev is
sister
great.
too.
Honestly, though,
I
Zeno
love
was my favorite
everyone.
character.
Yeah.
I love every fucking
The-
character.
My least
Yeah.
favorite new character, or least favorite character in general, is definitely Owen, because I agree with what you guys said, especially with Austin about we only came here for him. If we kill them, we're the
Yeah.
same. But to me, that's the only thing that's redeeming and likable about him. Besides that, he's only a shithead, a lazy shithead, and an annoying lazy shithead. That's it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I agree.
For a second, I thought it was Scooby Doo. I'm like, Scooby does not
Okay.
have buck teeth.
Who can guess what this is? Who can guess what this is?
That's a
Is that an
beaver?
aardvark?
It has a tail.
I don't know what that
It's
is.
a rat.
It's an original. Okay, maybe if I show you the other one. Okay.
Oh God.
Oh, nice.
What is it
TMNT.
from? Yeah, this is Splinter without his clothes because my
Oh my
grandma was
God.
sweet and bought
Oh
me that.
wow. Okay.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh, that's
All
all right.
right.
Audio
My
listeners
desk
gonna be
is
like, what the
full
hell
of
they're
shit.
talking about?
My desk is full of stuff.
I thought I had a lot of Funko Pops. I only have like 10.
Oh God, that
My
thing creeped me out as a child.
Oh
Oh, it did.
man. So
Yeah.
what? So, oh yeah. So for The Last of Us Part 1 and Part 2, we all love Part 1. I've seen, pretty much all of Zach's videos when it comes to Last of Us, especially why he loves the first game. Do you think
I will
that
never stop talking about this game.
I will. I agree with you.
I
But
think we've already seen that part, Zach,
Yeah.
already.
Do you think that Part 2 exceeds Part 1 in every aspect? Because I personally think it does. I mean, I love the first game. I mean, they're both amazing, but it's like there's so many more layers to Part 2. Because I mean, Part 1 is a simple A to B story,
Yeah.
but I would safely say I think Part 2 has definitely passed its predecessor.
I gotta be
Yeah.
honest.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Don't know who wanted to go first.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
whoever.
Ren can start first.
Okay. I will say yes and agree with you, but with an asterisk, like I do with every sequel that I do think it's superior to the original. You need the original for this to
That is
mean
very
as
true.
You do.
much as it does.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah.
And it does do more than the original and whatnot, but you totally need that. It's, to me, I think it's important to, in my opinion, of course, recognize how better this is, but also not forgetting how much
The
it
first,
needs
yeah.
that first one. Because if this was the first game, like with Joel dying, we would have the same problem as Zach mentioned we would have with if Dina was the one who died.
Yeah.
Like, we need that story. You need to have spent that time with these characters and whatnot.
This is a really good
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Zach, go ahead.
Okay, so this game, it's hard because the first game is my favorite game of all time. It took really like 4 or 5 years for it to actually get to that point. So I don't want to say this is my favorite game of all time, but I would say it's my top 10. I would say it's right there with the first game. And I would put it as far as say, I can never think of not having both games connected. They are connected so well that
Same.
it really, for me, feels like one giant journey and story.
Mhm.
And I can't ever think not having them both together. So for me, they're just simultaneously together. Like Infinity War and Endgame, I feel the same way. They are
I was just about
together.
to bring that
Kill
up.
Bill 1 and 2.
Yep.
They are together.
Godfather Part 1 and
it's-
2.
Yes, it's like they
Not
are
part
one
three?
big giant story. And in this light, I can never not have them together. And I love
Yeah.
this game. I think it's fucking phenomenal. I do think gameplay wise, all that stuff, this is a better game. Of course,
Oh.
technically it is
Oh,
a
yeah,
better,
yeah.
stronger game because it's had that time. It has the years.
Mhm.
This game is of course improving, but story wise, it is completely different than the first game, but at the same
Yep.
time, still connected. The first game is a game about love. It is a game about love in the post-apocalyptic universe. The second game is about anger, pain, vengeance in this world, but at the same time trying to refocus and find yourself while opening up the world to say, guys, there's no heroes and villains in
Yeah.
humanity. There's
Especially
always
in this world.
yes, and that's what I love about this. Yes, David in the first game, you could never make me even care about him. He's a piece of shit
Yeah.
cannibal.
He's a straight up fucking villain.
Yes, but this game, they could have easily gone the easy route. Abby's just a bitch, and Joel stole from her years ago, and he did steal something from her. He stole her father's life, And when you see that happen, if you are one of the people who are like, I still want to kill Abby, you're a piece of shit. If you tell me if someone killed your dad, come on, it's fucking great. It's brilliant. I fucking love this game. It's it's 10 out of 10, 100, whatever you want to call it. It's a perfect game for me. I literally, like, I was talking to my friend about it. My friend goes, I feel so emptied inside after finishing the game, but he goes, but I'll still give it a 10 out of 10 because it was such an experience. This game is an experience. Puts you in the shoes. Yeah. And for me, I get that emptiness feeling, but for me, I got hopefulness for Ellie by the end of the story. I felt hope for her, and I can't wait to see if they do continue her journey, and if they don't, that's okay with me. I don't want them to continue it, but if they do, I'm okay with that.
One thing I do want to add. Oh, sorry, Christian.
You're good. You're good.
So, one thing I do want to add is that when it comes to the themes of the game, not only is it the cycle of violence, revenge, and hate, but also empathy is something that's really strong in terms of this game because you have to spend both sides. Like, the game is trying to have you empathize from both sides of you. You're trying to understand why Ellie is going after Abby. You're trying to understand why Abby went after Joel doing what he did. And honestly, that theme of empathy, I thought worked so well because honestly, before I played Abby, I was like, no, fuck Abby. I want her dead. But then while playing Abby's story, I connect with her way more than I expected, like way more. And I enjoyed her story, even though it's a tad bit long, do not get me wrong, but I didn't mind it after beating the game. I was like, this is actually a compelling ass story. Like, it's like I understood why she killed Joel. I understood why she does what she does. And I agree with, I can't remember who said it, but after she meets Lev, she essentially becomes the new Joel of the game. She really does, though. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ren. But in terms of, I think the game is better than the first game. I still need more time to digest because I can't quite say it's a masterpiece, but I will say, like, this is basically
You're
Godfather.
A masterpiece.
You're
breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
You're all breathtaking.
Part 1 of The Last of Us was essentially like The Godfather to me. I love The Godfather so much. It's my favorite mobster film of all time. Godfather Part this is essentially Godfather Part 2, to where even though I do think that Godfather Part 2 isn't as great as Godfather Part 1, however, I will say this, as a sequel to one of the greatest games of all time, does this game exceed on every expectation that it sets out to do? Yes, absolutely. I mean, there wasn't, besides that one nitpick, I mean, it's not really a detractor, I couldn't think of a single thing I disliked about this game. Like, I love everything about this game. I would totally agree with
that.
Yeah,
because it took me a while. I was like, is there anything I like truly just don't like? Because like when I played through Final Fantasy VII Remake, I was like, hell yes, like I was in it. But like that game they just added a bunch of bloatware. I was like, half of this game doesn't even need to be here. Half of these side quests do not need to be here.
It's a great game.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh, it looks fantastic. I mean, and they've changed up the story a bit. For those who haven't played it, I won't say what. But it's, I mean, even this, like, to me, this game is a masterpiece. Like, whether people like it or not, regardless of like the controversy that it is receiving, the leaks did not hinder the game whatsoever. It is the fastest selling PS4 exclusive, and it beat out Spider-Man, sold over
which is
4
surprising.
million. Right. Like it's like everybody loves Spider-Man. It sold over 4 million copies within the first 3 days. And like the amount of attention that this game is getting, whether it be good or bad, the fact that we're still talking about this game like 2 weeks later and like onward, it's just it proves that it is a masterpiece. But I mean, not everyone's going to like it. I'm not saying the game is like 100%, the game can do no wrong. I didn't have issues with it, but it's like, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not flawless. Like, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan or like Steph Curry. I don't like him at all, but I definitely recognize talent and greatness when I see it.
As do I.
So
I agree.
And I think that's my thing. Like, I mean, we've all played games that didn't live up to the hype and stuff, and I didn't think this one was going to live up to it, and it did. Oh, that's not even a thing. That game. The first one's not.
I wanted to love Watch Dogs, but right by the time I beat it, I was like, oh god damn it! By the end of it. Yeah.
Oh man.
BioShock 2 is another one, even though I do find that game underrated, if you ask me.
Yeah,
BioShock 2 is good. BioShock 1 and 3 are amazing.
BioShock 1's are my top 5 games of all time. So
Both of them are my top 5.
wow,
I think both of them are great. I love BioShock. I fucking love BioShock.
Oh, BioShock. I was here right now. That game is a fucking masterpiece. That's a flawless game, Skinny.
You're a masterpiece. You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
You're all breathtaking.
God,
so
I want everyone to know when Cyberpunk comes out, I'm not coming out. I'm not leaving.
Like,
yeah, like, you won't see me on Twitter. You won't see me on
Dude, I'm going to get a week. I'm going to request a week off from work so I can play that game. I'm not.
Well, so I've talked about this. So the game just got pushed back again, and I was like, all right, push it back. I want them to push it back one more time for selfish reasons because it's on my girlfriend's birthday right now, and I obviously can't. I can't not hang out with her, and we're supposed to take a trip. I'm like.
But Cyberpunk's coming
out of every date, you push it to that. Seriously?
Yeah. Like, I mean, they said the game is like gone gold. It's done, but there's a few bugs that they want to fix. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. This game, that game, like it's 2012. I think that game first got announced.
Yeah,
but it's
well, and this is my thing with it. I want the game to just be flawless, but I also. The next gen console's already coming out, guys. Just make the fucking, like I just look at it. I'm like, why can't you just release that version? I would rather play on that
because of that sweet green. There's a lot of people out there who won't even like. I mean, there's day one. They can have
two versions of it. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, I think what they're going to do, and I think they confirmed this for the PlayStation 5, is that if you buy Cyberpunk 2077, you do get the PS5 upgrade for free. Same with on Xbox. Yeah. And I hope they do that for a while.
And I don't want people to play before me.
I got you.
Bastard, Zach.
Hey, that is fair enough. I mean, we got Ghost of Tsushima coming out. That's the last PS4 exclusive.
You know what's funny? I'm not really excited for it. Like, I have it pre-ordered. I'm just still sitting on, do I really want to pick it up or not?
I mean, after playing The Last of Us, it is kind of hard. Because like even when I play God of War and Spider-Man, I think this goes back to what I was talking about earlier. Like it seems that Last of Us Part 2 this year was the God of War last year, and then Spider-Man is the Ghost of Tsushima of this year.
Yeah.
Because I mean, God of War came out of nowhere. Everyone's like, "Holy crap, we're gonna play Kratos again!"
That game was fucking incredible.
But I am excited because I've been clamoring for like an Assassin's Creed type Japan style game, and I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to.
Well, it's like I just got done with Sekiro, so I think that's why I'm kind of like.
You beat Sekiro. I'm jealous, to say the least.
Oh, I didn't beat it. I got done with it because I got
He said, "I got." He's like, "No, you."
They said you beat it. I was like, I was thinking, like, how the hell did you beat that game? Because that's fucking difficult.
I know. I think for a while I was telling Ren about it, and then I just stopped talking about it because it pissed me off.
He's like, you know what? I'm done.
Lady Butterfly for the longest time, and finally I beat her. I was like, yes! And then I got to the boss. I was like, fuck this game. At one point,
Zach's like, I'm done with Sekiro. He's like, oh, you beat it? No, it's done.
No. Ren knows me though. I think Ren, every time we do our podcast, I'd complain about it, like the early stages of it, right?
Yeah, whenever you talked about Sekiro, it was not like it was good because the game was good, but it was not good because you were complaining about how difficult it was.
Like constantly. I was just like, fuck this game, man. It's
but by the way, Christian, you have to wait your turn now because I've been pleading for an Assassin's Creed with Vikings. I'm finally getting, so just chill. You wait in line.
I'm excited for Valhalla. I like love Japanese culture. When I found out you can play this game in with the Japanese voice language and in black and white, I was like, yes,
you can play like an Akira Kurosawa film,
and it's by the guys who did Infamous, and that's what I'm more excited about. Is like this is their game. Like they've been working on this game for how long now?
A very long time.
I don't. Okay, real fast. Like I know we're getting really off topic.
No, you're fine.
What the fuck is the game about? What the fuck is the game about?
All I don't know anything. You're samurai. Like I think you come from royalty, and it's kind of like a Blue Spirit type thing with Zuko in not The Last of Us.
Ooh.
Well, The Last Airbender, where I think that's kind of how it is. He kind of plays this fictional folklore character. I'm not entirely sure because the story trailer didn't really tell us anything, but I'm kind of glad. Because I want to be surprised.
I want to go into this game like I did with
Guys,
The Last
that's misleading
Part 2
marketing.
blind.
You're not allowed to enjoy misleading
marketing.
No company has ever done that in the history of companies, ever.
Okay, I have a synopsis
they should have
from my
terminated
IMDb.
Genesis it.
Oh,
It said in 1274 on the Tsushima
That's too
Island,
far back. I can't play that.
The last samurai, Jin Sakai, must master a new fighting style, the way of the ghost, to defeat the Mongol forces and fight for the freedom and independence of Japan.
Well, I can't play
it
because...
like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild?
I'm getting those vibes
the
description. Mixed in with the Red Dead.
Yeah, that's the description I got, was Breath of the Wild meets Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm.
I get a Red Dead vibe from it as well, actually.
Yeah, a little bit there. Maybe because of the horse.
I can't disagree or agree. I never played Red Dead.
I'm a cowboy.
That game.
Red Dead 2 was amazing, but that game was
I honestly prefer
so
the first
that game was too long. That game was way too long.
The epilogue killed me.
Dude, thank you. I agree.
I love the epilogue.
If it wasn't for the epilogue, if it wasn't for the epilogue, that would have been my favorite game of the year. Red Dead.
I can't tell if Zach's being serious or not.
No. I seriously really like the epilogue.
Oh, did you really? Okay.
Long. It was too long.
It was way too
long. Like 5, 6
I gotta build a house. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta get a fucking loan for you.
Get a job.
Dude, my dad never plays video games, but he loves the first Red Dead. So he starts playing this. He goes, "This game's stupid. I gotta feed my fucking horse."
It's like you only saw me playing it because of the cutscenes, and you thought it looked awesome.
The game does look amazing. Literally. Do not get me wrong. Yeah.
No, it's all right. But I do feel like we are coming up here on time. I know it's 4th of July. I don't want to keep everyone from hanging out with family, whatever plans that they have. So really
even
quick,
the non-American.
Yes.
My dad and I
we talked about this longer than I expected. I was like, we're probably talking about it for like an hour, but again, an hour and 40 minutes in proves
it's a fun discussion. It's a fun discussion.
It's a very fun discussion.
Dude, I'm not joking. We could literally talk for the next 5 hours about this game.
Oh, for sure.
I'm with you on that one.
And I wanted to do this last week, but Zach said he couldn't. I was like, I really want Zach to come in because I love his take.
Mm-hmm.
Love his
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I was in no rush. I
still need to get my review of this game up.
Like I have like a spoiler-free review, but I was like, I really want to do like a podcast and just really get into it for sure.
Never a bad idea.
Get into this whole thing. No, this was a great discussion, man.
Absolutely. Really quick, I guess for scores out of 100, that's normally what we do. What would you give The Last of Us Part 2? We'll start with Zach.
100, 100, 200, 500,
500.
out of 3,000. 3,000 out of 100, man.
Over 9,000?
It's over 9,000.
Vegeta,
I was waiting for someone to do that.
I just think the game is perfect. I mean, for me, people can have their nitpicks. That's fine. But I have not played a game like this. I've never played a game that made me feel like I was in their shoes.
Same.
I mean, that's the honest truth. I play games to escape. This game fucking made me escape, but into the worst way possible. I mean, that's the honest truth. Like, I escaped into a revenge story. And, I play tons of games every year. They're like my bread and butter. That's what I do. I play games. I don't really talk about them on my channel. I want to keep making content about The Last of Us 2 because I love talking about it. And I'll join anything I can talking about the game because I love The Last of Us.
All right.
So
I don't really go out of 100, but I will say this right now. Do I think this is a flaw? I mean, like I said, I can't quite call this a masterpiece.
If you don't say it's perfect, you're out of this. Just don't. Just stop.
I will say this, however, I will definitely give this game a 10 out of 10 easily. Zach, be quiet. Honestly, because I beat the game this past Sunday. And I have been digesting, thinking, okay, was there a single thing that I disliked? The Rattlers thing, maybe, but at the same time, I was like, I still love their introduction to the game, nonetheless. But over time, I was thinking, okay, the game, it made me, I smiled, I laughed at certain points, did I cry? Fuck yes. I was depressed by the end, and I was just like, okay, it's a very visceral game. It's intense, it's brutal, it's bleak, depressing, but at the same time, it's a very beautiful game. It really is, and it's one of the greatest narratives I have ever experienced from a video game. The gameplay is double down, triple down on everything. It's one of also the most cinematic quality game I've ever played, by the way, as well. But that I doubt, it's a 10 out of 10 game. I mean, would I say it's the best game I've played in a long time? That for me and Doom Eternal are my favorite games of the year. I should add right now.
Okay.
But I fucking Wrong way. No, I love Last of Us Part 2 so much. I really do. It's such a phenomenal sequel to a game that was, if you ask me, that game is a masterpiece. Part 1. But I can't praise this game enough. I really can't.
All right, Ren, what about you?
I'm gonna say the same thing I said when I was on Zach's video. Story alone, 100 out of 100 or 10 out of 10 or A plus, whatever. Like the game as a whole, with those like nitpicks of what I would have cut out, just because to compress more of the story on Abby's portion, and I didn't get to mention this, but I talked with Zach over this. Like when you're driving, I don't know if driving is the term, but the boat, it's a little wonky, but it's such a short sequence, it can't be that big of an issue, you know. But I'd say 95 out of 100 for the whole package.
Kick him out of here.
All right.
Kick him out of here.
Well, sorry, Ren. Dems are the rules.
No. Oh, by the way, before I'm sorry.
You're good.
I want to talk one thing about Abby, and I didn't get to. Guys, Abby is not that big. Okay, she's pretty
especially
muscular.
at the end. She looks very frail. Like she lost like all of her muscle mass.
Yeah, and she's more ripped than she is jacked. Everyone's saying she is jacked. Like I kind of work in fitness at the moment. She is not jacked. She's ripped as fuck. She's bigger than the average skinny woman, but she's not that huge. Like if you at the end of the game when she's all tortured and Ellie gets there to the beach, you can totally tell she's much slimmer.
I walked right past her.
Same.
I said, there she is.
Oh, there she is. I was like,
she's slimmer, but you can see that the size difference is not that much. So everyone,
yeah, I agree.
Chill. She's not that big.
Man, she still held around.
When I saw her on that cross, I thought, "Oh my god!" I literally, my jaw dropped. Literally, I was just like, "Holy shit!"
What happened to you?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Are you hungry?
You need some food? You look famished.
You want me to kill you? Just to like put you out of your misery?
That's not victory. That's not way.
This is kind of off topic. When I saw those polls, I thought of Silence, the movie.
I can see that. I can see that.
For sure. So for me, easily 100 out of 100 for me. And really quick, is this your game of the generation so far? Or are you going to wait until you play Cyberpunk? Need more time. However, I need a plug in for Doom Eternal again. That is the best shooter of the generation. I've said.
Wait, like generation, like
as in like for this console generation between the Xbox One or the PS4's generation or whatever you want to say.
I will say the best PS4 game. I actually do think it's the best PS4 game. I actually do think that.
I don't know.
I fucking love God of War.
I'm gonna be honest. You know, I will say this. Sony, you have done such a fucking phenomenal job with this exclusives and letting the developers do what they wanted to do. I would even say the one big miss for me out of your generation was The Order, which I still didn't even hate. I thought that was a pretty cool game. It just needed to be longer, grown out. I think if you did a sequel to that, it'd be really cool. Days Gone, underrated. Horizon Zero Dawn, I would even say is underrated. But when it comes down to the three big ones, Last of Us 2, God of War, and Spider-Man, you know, it's tough. It's between God of Bloodborne's up there, but definitely for me, like those are the three that everyone fucking talks about.
Yeah.
But it's tough because for me, it's, you know, I love Spider-Man, but it's between God of War and this. I would probably go this just because I love the first game's my favorite game of all time. But God of War is pretty fucking close. I would go as far as say when it comes to like technically, I think God of War still. You know what's weird enough? I think God of War is more of a subtle story. I think God of War is the more subtle story.
I can agree with that.
Than Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah,
I can see
because
that.
the ending just ends.
Yeah.
Until you get to that post-credit sequence.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I do love the ending for Part 2 so much.
Oh, absolutely. For me, for a game of generation, I definitely need to spend more time with it, like Austin said, and play the crap out of Cyberpunk 2077 and a few others. So, you know, I'll have an answer later on. But that pretty much concludes our spoiler cast here of The Last of Us Part 2. I wanted to personally thank you guys for coming on and talking shop with me. You know, Naughty Dog is my favorite game developer. I've been playing their games since Crash Bandicoot. I saw like the original 3 Crash Bandicoot games like on PlayStation 1. I still have them.
Warp is the best.
Yes.
Which one's that? Is that the third or the second one?
I think it's the third.
That's the third one.
I agree.
The third one.
Are you guys excited for 4 real fast? Yeah.
I am.
Wait,
Hopefully, I mean, they said there's no microtransactions. So.
Okay. I've actually never been in a Crash Bandicoot game. I have the Insane Trilogy. I have it, but I just haven't beaten all of them.
Go directly to Warp.
Yeah,
Austin,
the other
and
two.
You just skip work today and play Crash Bandicoot.
I totally would if I could. Jesus.
But really quick, again, like I said, thank you guys for coming on and talking about one of the best games of the generation. I wanted to go around the podcast really quick and get everyone's socials, and just want to say you guys all make amazing content. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Because I mean, I'm not much of a YouTuber. Like, I guess I'm more on the podcast side. I would like to be. It's just with work and everything else.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and I can only imagine the copyright claims and stuff you guys have to go through on the on the daily. So
Universal,
seriously.
Mm-hmm.
But really quick, let's get everyone's social plugins and let us know what's coming up on your channel. We'll start with Ren.
You guys can find me everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Ren Geekness. I've been off YouTube for a while for reasons, but I'm coming back this week, starting with a few late reviews, and also the podcast I did with Zach Pope, Geeks at the Round Table, will also be back sometime this week. So come check me out.
All right, Austin, what about you?
All right, so you can find me Instagram, Twitter at Austin P. Putnam. I have a couple of more than a few things. So first of all, look out for, and like the next day or so, my review of The Last of Us Part 2 will be up, hopefully by tomorrow night. I'll have the late reviews run up, which I'll be talking about Doolittle. Not a good movie. Also The Hunt.
Do you hate yourself?
Believe it or not, I actually didn't like. I didn't think it was garbage. It was fascinating garbage. That's all I'll say about it.
The dragon part was the best scene.
Don't even get me fucking started on that. But also, within like the next week or so, I will be doing a stream like the best movies of the past decade as well. And that's about it I could think of at the moment. Yeah, it's gonna be good old times.
Hey, all right. And last but not least, Zach, what's coming up on your channel there?
Just more movie content, maybe more Last of Us 2 content. I think I'm kind of out of it right now. I definitely want to do a video essay eventually, but I might simmer on it until like all the hate's kind of gone out there. Yeah. But thank you so much for having us. This was a blast.
Thank you.
Definitely come find me on YouTube. Just type in Zach Pope. Me and Ren do a podcast over on his channel. That's a bunch of fun. It's coming back this week. Geeks of the Round Table. If you want to be a geek of the round table, you just got to watch it maybe. Me and my other friend Tyler, and who lives out here in Arizona with me, we used to do a podcast called The Good Boys. When we stopped doing it, the world went to shit, so we're bringing it back to save humanity. And then I have a ton of movie reviews this week. Like this next week is like stacked on movies. We have Greyhound, we have Relic, we have Old Guard. Palm Springs, I've already seen. I saw it at Sundance. That's also coming out this week. Debating if I want to do another video for that. And I also have a top 10 favorite films of this year so far. Yes, I saw more than 10 films already. It's kind of a feast when that happens. So, but yeah, and I'm just sitting here praying that people keep wearing their masks so I can eventually
thank you
get to leave my house again, But yeah, it's getting to that point. But thank you, man. Again, this was a blast talking with you guys.
It was, yeah.
Oh, of course, man. Talking shop about anything geek related, especially video games. I can talk about it for ages.
Oh, yeah.
But for everyone out there listening who stopped by the stream, thank you. And of course, this will be going up on the podcast. I believe I'm going to edit it. I would say Tuesday because we have our Hamilton review coming out tomorrow. So that would be a lot of fun.
I need to watch that.
It was my first time watching. I absolutely loved it. Like I want to watch it again.
It was my first time.
But yeah, again, you can listen to this review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Red Circle, Pandora, and iHeartRadio. And make sure to look up the other podcasts from the our drive-in network that we have going on over at musiccitydrivein.com. We have commentary, there's music, there's sports. We're kind of just sitting here talking about movies. So definitely check out their content over there as well for everyone listening. And that was Ren, Austin, and Zach. And my name is Christian, of course. And we hope you all have a nice day, endure and survive, and have a safe 4th of July weekend.
America, fuck yeah,
America,
coming around to save the motherfucking day. I can't get that song out of my head now.
America.